volume is controlled by the board.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to start the game? You can start the program.
Yeah, yeah. Bring your chair up a bit to the mic.
Make sure that I'm on.
Yeah, Mike.
What's your name again, brother?
Andrew Abraham.
Andrew Abraham. That's two biblical names.
Yeah, man.
Andrew was a saint and Abraham was the man that started the true religion.
Yeah,
in the
Abraham
world.
Lincoln.
You're going to give me some
biblical language.
Go ahead.
Abraham and Joshua.
Abraham and
Joshua, two heavy men.
A whole set of holy
Oh,
men.
that's a holy man, you know.
Don't step on hell. So go ahead. Get to go start this morning.
Yeah. No, Joshua starting.
Joshua, you want to start the game this
No,
morning?
no, you
Well,
start.
watch Mr. Pierre sit down.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, he don't have access to the mic, but
You
he
start.
starts it
You
nice.
start.
He has a signature.
Right, come. What's on the mind day?
No, he
Yeah,
has
what
a.
when you do the
Yeah. Then I would start it.
Welcome, welcome, brothers, welcome, sisters. All the people have the opportunity to hear us because of modern technology. This morning is an interesting morning, and we welcome you to Studio Galaxy 473 in Confer. Remember, you always subscribe to Studio Galaxy 473. We are the new kid on the block. You got to give us a blight. If you don't give us a blight, who you expect to give us? The people in Ukraine can't bother, you know. They're facing retribution action from Russia. Bomb. But this morning we're very fortunate this morning. We have a teacher from the farm school. They say the head nigger in charge, man, from the farm school. And he is going to tell us about the farm school and its opportunities. You know, in the Caribbean, most of the islands in the Caribbean, the agriculture was a big thing, is a big thing, and they want agriculture to be a big thing. But the schoolhouse is the real organizational structure, the real nuclei that's going to determine where we go in agriculture. And this morning we have Andrew Abraham and Joshua in the house. Two religious czars. Andrew was a saint, and Abraham is the one that having all this problem with Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. And Joshua too is a messenger of God. So we have these individuals that we want to transport them to agriculture, and they're going to help us get the way, the opportunities from the farm school. The farm school was designed for opportunities, you know, and it has played its role in the past. A lot of agriculture extension officers, educators come from the farm school. So the farm school have been doing a good job, but now we wanted to do a better job. And the gentlemen are here with us this morning. And Joshua.
Yeah, good morning to all our listeners here and in the diaspora. It's a real pleasure to be on the program this morning with Mr. Abrams from TAMCC. I first met him, let me see, maybe about 2 or 3 months ago. And he was on the program with some guests from Dalhousie University working on a proposal for a project. I then drove around with him for a little bit and I thought, well, maybe he's the driver. And when I asked him who he was, he told me he's the principal of the college. The man was so humble and so down to earth. I said, whoa, look at me tying with the man. The man is the big principal of TAMCC and the farm school and everything. So he's one of our czar that we look into in terms of turning things around. So this morning, I'm not going to give you a lot of my kind of talk. I want to listen to him and maybe, ask a little question or whatever. But I really want to listen to him about what's going on with the farm school. So Mr. Abraham, give us a little bit about who you are, your name, etc. We have to know you, man.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Lewis and Mr. Pierre. Thank you very much for having me. But let me take this opportunity to first of all say a pleasant good morning to the listening audience. But I will be very specific here and send out a morning greeting to our TAMCC family, lecturers, students, staff. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, but most importantly, for you to have a good holiday weekend. So that is from me to our team at TAMCC. Andrew Abraham, who is Andrew Abraham? Well, currently my portfolio is the principal of the T.M. Show Community College. But in relation to Grenada, I hail from the village of Dunfermline, right here in St. Andrews. I was born and raised there.
Wow.
I'm
very proud of you, man.
So that's where I currently live. So I still live in my village. Attended the St. Mary's.
That explains why I saw you walking up by my farm with your jogging stuff and all the. I said, "What's this man doing up here? This man is a tongue man." But you come back to the roots.
Okay. So I started my education journey at the St. Andrews Anglican Primary School. After my uncle migrated to the United States, I then transferred to the St. Mary's Roman Catholic School. We know the school in Lafayette. So. That's where I got my primary education. Move on to the St. Andrews Anglican Secondary School. From there, move on to TAMCC. Back then, National College. I think I was probably the last cohort under that name. And I also taught at the St. Andrews Anglican Secondary School briefly under Principal Michael Pierre, who is the brother of Mr. Pierre. So that was my principal at one time and my boss as well. So from there, I took my tertiary education to the United States, where I studied environmental technology, Utah Valley University, also to Texas at Midwestern State University, where I did a bachelor's degree in computer information systems. I did my master's at the University of the Virgin Islands, and my PhD, which is ongoing, or at least I'm a candidate now, because I'm only due to present my final work on my dissertation. So that's where I did my postgraduate work at the Virgin Islands. So in all education-wise, but in terms of community and upbringing, all of that took place in Dunfermline and the estate.
A boy from Dunfermline. Whoa.
So
kudos to you, my brother.
So education-wise, family, again, in this area here, I think my roots came out in Paraclete as well. My dad is Rani Nayak, who know him, but the white man who came out of Paraclete. So I have relatives here in Paraclete as well. So it's sort of a home for me, as I say. The backyard, Dunfermline, Paraclete, Mount Horn, Lafayette.
Yeah.
So it's really home being in.
You're home, and I'm so glad to have you home.
So
wow.
In a nutshell, that's me. And if anything specific you want to ask.
No, man, just very proud of you this morning. Man, you inspiring us.
Yes, the farm school and its challenges. We know the farm
opportunities
school is a very important pillar in the realm of things in agriculture in Grenada. It has always been a significant contributor to agriculture. But now we have a lot of new dynamics, technology involved, and etc. And we have a gentleman from St. Andrews, from Dunfermline, same community with the great Eric Machagiri. And I always applaud individuals who seek higher education but remain in the community to contribute. So tell us some of the things that we could see going on in the farm school, or some of the opportunities that we like to talk.
Thank you very much for that. I'd just like to share with the community that at the moment, the T.M. Show Community College is undergoing some major developments, and the area of focus right now is the Agriculture Center of Excellence, that is the Maribor Farm School. Only recently, we partner with the Ministry of Agriculture to house and care for the pigs that is part of the government's program funded by the World Bank.
Yeah.
So we have 5 brand new pig facility at the Maribor campus, where we are
Yeah.
currently housing over 140 pigs, 5 different breeds.
Whoa, I heard those pig big as cow.
they're huge animals, and we really welcome the partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture, because our current agriculture students, what I would do for them is that they would have the opportunity to practice their craft, that is observing the cleaning and maintenance of the facility, and also the breeding of the facility, the science of it as well. We know we have the ministry officials, for example, the vet and so on, that would come in periodically to care for these animals, so our students would get first-hand experience as it relates to the animal husbandry. So, excuse, that's an area that we are really excited about. And this is only the start, because at the farm school as well, we've recently renovated, or we are actually renovating our dams. They were damaged in our previous hurricanes, Ivan and Emily.
Oh, since Ivan.
And Emily, yes.
Oh.
So I'm happy to say that we at least have one is already complete, and the other one is about 50% complete.
Yeah. So you mean I could actually get a room in TAMCC and help you out and clean and thing?
Well, what I would say is basically our students who would be enrolling at TAMCC in the new academic year, we will be moving our agriculture program completely to Maribor. In the past, you had students who spent the first year at the Tantin campus. But we believe that that kind of arrangement is not the best for students. We want them to be on site. We want them to be where agriculture is happening. So the training could take place there as well as the theoretical work.
Yeah.
So basically our students in the agriculture program, and in some of the other programs that we partner with entities such as NTA, the National Training Agency, and different ministries,
Yeah.
where we would have students housed at the Maribor campus.
Yeah.
So the dorm facilities are for our students. So once you're willing to enroll Mr. Lewis as a student, that's the facility you would be staying at,
Yeah.
and pretty much honing your craft, so to speak.
Yeah, but that's wonderful, because when you stay at the dorm and have a facility like that, you develop friendship for life. You know, as students, whether you remain in Grenada or you go to St. Vincent, and that connection becomes so important, that camaraderie, that development, that love for country, that nationalism that we want to see. So that is absolutely excellent. I feel envious at the students who will be going into the dorm and learning this stuff.
Yeah, we're excited about that as well. So additionally, what's happening at the farm school, we currently partner with the Chinese Technical Mission as well.
Okay.
So we have an artificial insemination lab that was recently, I would say, implemented on the campus. So we could have the breeding of animals, not only pigs, but sheep, goat, and so on.
And cattle?
Yes.
Wonderful.
So we have that we have part of the farm school. We have a draft MOU with the Ministry of Agriculture as well for our students to have access to training resources and facilities within the ministry. So you're talking about the recently renovated abattoir, where our students who would be exposed to meat processing and so on, and safe handling of meat with the Maribor abattoir. And there's hatchery that is currently under construction in the physical vicinity of the campus.
Yeah.
We are also looking to partner there as well. But in terms of development for the farm school, what is next? We have a new poultry facility that we're hoping to be highly mechanized with automation as part of it. So at least the students could be part of modern technology. That is work in progress. That is the next phase of the development of the Agriculture Center of Excellence here in St. Andrews. And we want it to really be the pride and joy of TAMCC, but Grenada as a whole. And for the parish of St. Andrews, as what would be traditionally the breadbasket of the nation, we're saying that that farm school would stand as a beacon here in St. Andrews, but a proud part of the T.A. Marisho Community College. And for students who are interested in the agriculture program, we into our admissions period. So please apply. And we have some exciting announcement because we want to really incentivize students to get into our agriculture program. We want to incentivize students to get into agriculture. And with the upgrades to the facility and that soon to be Agriculture Center of Excellence, what we are saying is that please get on board. If you have a desire, if you have a passion for agriculture, apply to TAMCC and we'll get into one of our programs at TAMCC. I also want to share that we recently reached out to the National Training Agency for the approval of a training center, that is to offer program from agri-processing, general agriculture, animal husbandry, agri-mechanical technology. Just about 7 additional programs, not limited to that, but those are some of the areas that we'll be offering training in it as well. So the development of the Maribo campus as the Agriculture Center of Excellence is one where we want to do everything agriculture at the high standards.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that with us and sharing that with the nation. I mean, the work that you just mentioned is absolutely wonderful and transformational. Because one of the things we talk on the program here all the time is that there are many other jobs in the agriculture sector that we're not taking advantage of. And you mentioned so many technician type jobs that are available that can be developed in terms of agriculture. So that is going to be wonderful for the students. And I know by association, that does inspire young people. You talk about the veterinarians being on site, coming and doing this, and the association with the students will inspire some of them to become technicians or to become vets themselves, and that is absolutely wonderful, because it seems like you intend to lay the foundation for agriculture to take off in Grenada finally, and you're not messing about. You're talking about poultry and a mechanized system, and one of the things I've been lobbying about is how do we transform our country from what Mr. Pierre and I talk about, the cutlass and the fork, in terms of industrialization. And Mr. Pierre always argue we were better off before with the pharaohs because we had the bullock, but I argue that we need industrialization because that is a process of transformation. We have to move away from just the cutlass and the fork and move forward. And there's a lot going on in the poultry sector, which I'm a bit more familiar with, because I know that at one time we were basically importing about I think it was almost 16 to 20 million pounds of poultry on island, and the average cost was about $4 or $5 a pound. So you could imagine the kind of impact you will have with the other processors who are already here in terms of this industry. If we can transform that industry as an import substitution program, we will be circulating over 200 million in our local economy. What is so hard for us to understand about that and the importance? And to hear you talk this morning about a proper, poultry operated mechanized system, it's just unbelievable. The country will, gain the benefits in terms of that. One of the things that we have to do, and I want to lobby you for that, we have a lot of poultry farmers, and they all over the island. They're not just in St. Andrews or St. Patrick's. St. Andrews have a lot, St. Patrick's, but they're all over the island, St. George's as well, and one of the things that the processors are in the process of doing, and they'll have to do it with you, they'll have to be involved with you, is that they want the satellite farmers now to come on board. And they're working on that program for 2026, where they start with a pilot project of maybe 10 satellite farms. And those farms will kind of produce maybe 5,000, 10,000 birds for them, and they get the baby chick, they get the feed. All they do is to grow the birds. They call it a grow-out system, and then the processors come and pick it up, or you bring it, whatever arrangement you have, and you collect your check, and that's it. So the facility that you have and the teaching you're doing will mean that these people, these farmers, will now have the expertise to be in a grow-out program as what is needed. It means that the foreign reserve saving will begin to take place in terms of poultry. So I'm so excited in terms of what you're doing, and I always think about how does a country like ours, which does grass-fed cattle, how we don't have any steaks that we do, and we import in all our steaks. So I'm so excited that we're going to be challenging those things, because grass-fed beef is one of the most expensive beef in the world. And we need to have the foundation in place, and you are putting the foundation in place, so I can't thank you enough.
The farm school is an important pillar, but how much students or children you expect per annum to be in the school, and what are the basic requirements for entry into that area?
As it is now, our goal is to increase our student enrollment in the agriculture program. I would say more than tenfold. As to give you an appreciation of where we're coming from right now, our enrollment is at its lowest probably at this time in terms of full-time program in general agriculture. We've partnered with the NTA, so over the last 2 semesters, we've had a cohort of 70 students last year in poultry and broiler production.
Wow.
This semester in general agriculture, poultry and broiler production, and all some other areas as well. We have now 54 students enrolled this year.
That's
For
wonderful.
the CVQ training as part of the Empower program with the government. But we are looking as TAMCC to have our full-time students, a minimum of 15 to 20 students in the first cohort, based on where we are coming from, where we saw things like numbers such as 5 and 6 students into the program. So with the facilities upgraded, we're hoping that we are able to attract more students, and with the technology included in the training, for the facilities, of course, operating at international standards, and that students can see agriculture in a different light. So the marketing approach is a different one, where we are saying that here are the opportunities, and to become more entrepreneurial and to expose the opportunities that are available in the farming sector. As you would appreciate, not much persons understand or at least appreciate the living that one can make from agriculture. So TAMCC, right now we are positioning ourselves to bring that awareness and to at the same time build the capacity within our citizens in Grenada, Carriacou and PT Martinique in the area of agriculture, not just general agriculture, but in all of the areas in non-traditional way as well, because we are looking to incorporate non-traditional agricultural systems such as hydroponics, aquaponics into the training as well, where persons can see the production in a shade house, water-based type agriculture, and also where you could have fish that is integrated to in plants and with plants as well as part of aquaculture, where the waste from the fish becomes the manure or the fertilizer for the crops. So that kind of technology should inspire and motivate our prospective students, and not only students out of our high school systems, or agricultural practitioners who are looking to upskill as well, because there are new techniques that we believe that our farmers should have, and also understanding the critical nature and the opportunities as well, the critical nature in terms of agriculture to our economy, and the opportunities as it relates to business opportunity outside the borders of Grenada, Carriacou and PT Martinique, where you can access the OECS market, you have the CARICOM market, and even internationally. So that's opportunities for our farmers, and we believe that with the skills and the training, that would position them to be able to access these opportunities that I just mentioned.
What would be the basic academic requirements?
Right. So right now for associate degree, a student would need 5 subjects. For the CVQ and NVQ training, you basically be assessed to where you're at to get into the program. That format would allow for a person to enter the program where they at, as opposed to having our traditional CXC passes to get in. And that's the model we are actually pushing.
When you say 5 subjects, is there any compulsory subjects in the 5?
For the agriculture at this time, no.
Okay. So a child needs
Just 5 subjects. Right.
Right. Would the farm school be providing the information for secondary schools about the programs that you are offering for
Yes.
schools? Not
Yeah, that's correct. Our corporate communications officer, the registrar's office, go out to the schools and they promote our programs within the schools. That's an ongoing process. And another medium we are using is the multimedia, mass media, the internet radio station. So we promote a lot now in terms of making persons that are aware of our programs. We have our website where you can go onto the TAMCC website, www.tamcc.edu.gd, where you could actually get information on our programs. Agriculture is one of the many programs. There are over 50 programs that we offer at TAMCC. But we are talking agriculture today, and of course, we have a slight bias where we are actually encouraging persons to apply to our programs or to actually check us out. Come in and speak to one of our rep in the admissions office, or call if you can, and you know, get more information. But we do go out to the schools, and we are looking at different approaches into reaching persons, because we see training at the tertiary level not just as high school graduates or high school students, but for persons who are looking to upskill, retool. So you might be in business and you decide you want to go into agriculture. We're encouraging you to access your training, or at least that career change, to apply to one of our programs at TAMCC to do so. And we would welcome you and be able to guide you along that path as well.
What is the duration of the main course that you'll be having in Pond School?
So for our traditional associate degree program, that's a two-year training program. For our CVQ, no, that would be based on the assessment, on your assessment. So you could be in a CVQ program for anywhere between 3 to 6 months and become a level 3 certified person. If we're going to look at the qualification framework that is out there, to look at our traditional and our vocational qualification, you could see a level 3 would be equivalent to an associate degree. A level 2 would be equivalent to a diploma. A level 4 and 5 would be equivalent to a bachelor's degree. So you have on the CVQ qualifications framework, we have up to about 8 levels. So you could go on the vocational arm up to the PhD level with the vocational training arm of it.
Does the government of Grenada accept the associate degree, in the sense that individuals leaving the farm school can enter the government ministry as extension officers?
That I cannot say definitively they will be hired as an extension officer, because that position may have a requirement. And for an associate degree, I know government do hire our students, but as an extension officer, I can't speak specifically to that. What I can say is that our students are hired from time to time with various ministries, including agriculture. And I know in the past, before my time as principal, TAMCC partnered with the Ministry of Education to conduct extension officers training, but that was specially designed for the Ministry of Agriculture. That is something we are looking into again. So we're talking about persons who are trained in a particular area, but I think extension service requires specialized training. So again, maybe our students would fall in that category. I can't speak definitively to that at this point.
While the farm school accept people with 5 subjects, and it doesn't matter what the 5 subjects are, do you have preference with what the 5 subject is, and would you advocate that in the school for the future?
Right. So in the case of agriculture, for example, agriculture would be quite naturally one of the courses would have students, especially the double awards, because it puts them at an advantage. The double award, it's highly recognized, not just as an agricultural pass, but for students who need in a science subject in other programming areas as well. And just to back up here, to correct myself, Mr. Pierre, agriculture science is one of the requirements. But in the agriculture program, for a student who may not have agriculture at the time, special waiver can be given, so at least that student can get that subject while in the program.
Yeah.
So we do have our adult and continuing
Yeah.
education school, where
Yeah.
students can access secondary level courses where they can do their certification. But
Yeah.
yes,
10
just-
years from now,
Huh?
10 years from now,
yes.
if you have to advocate what subjects you will want to see children coming in agriculture, coming in the farm school with, what are the subjects that will come off your mind?
This one may be a little bit controversial here, but I'll say
Always
this.
controversial.
I would even, that's from a personal standpoint, what I would like to see is that our students out of our high school system not be dependent on subjects to get into programs at TAMCC, but it's for students to matriculate into college based on their high school credentials, which includes agriculture and all of the subject areas. So our students graduating from high school to get into a tertiary education system such as TAMCC should not be dependent solely on passes from an external entity such as CXC to get into. That could be one avenue in which they can use to access tertiary education. And what I can say at this time, TAMCC are already preparing the groundwork for our students out of the high school system to matriculate into TAMCC, not taking CXC examination or GC to get into as an entry requirement.
Mr. Abrams, listening to you, it sounds as though you intend for students to succeed. You know, it seems that you totally get to what students succeed in. Whatever angle, whatever avenue that they need, you will help them to succeed. One of the things that I've come across, you know, being home is that our girls seem to be on a jet plane, you know, when it comes to education. And our boys seem to be on some kind of cattle or boat or something. And one of the things that kind of ran through my mind is that, I don't know if it's backed by science. It seems like the boys like to do things with their hands. And one of the things that I loved about poultry is that you could learn it quickly, you could make a living from it, and you could go to different level. And I love the opportunity that that little subsector gives, because you can have your own business, you know, and you could go to TAMCC and learn about business as well. You know about rearing chickens now, learn the business. You could learn about marketing and the different things. And, you know, you seem to be open to what our situation is, because a lot of people sometimes, we should be doing this, we should be that, but they're not starting where we are, you know, as a society. So I'm so pleased listening to you and the flexibility of your approach. It's absolutely wonderful.
What message we get outside there to our young people to make them know that if they go to farm school and they do well, they can make money?
All right. So one of the main pillars of a strategic goal actually of TAMCC is rebranding, and rebranding meaning that we need to really change the way we do the business of education. That is reaching our prospective students and our community at large. And we are in the process right now of revising our marketing approach, our engagement with the community, so that persons understand that, listen, we are here as a partner for your own development, for Grenada's development, and for regional development. So it is to get the education and training opportunities out there to our graduates. There are a lot of students or a lot of persons within our community that don't know what we do at TAMCC. So we are really beefing up our marketing campaign, or direct marketing campaign. For example, you hear from time to time persons are saying, well, students from New Law, they're better than students from TAMCC. New Law and TAMCC is eggs and oranges, and mucho kudos to Sister Margaret and her team over in Palmis for what they are doing with education. But you can't compare New Law to TAMCC. There's no comparison. And why is no comparison? I mean, New Law's programs, in some cases, although some are similar, but they don't do what we do. And when we think about a TAMCC graduate, and where a TAMCC graduate is heading, I'm not too sure that that's what New Law's core mission is. And this is not here to compare between New Law and TAMCC, but it's basically to let the community know what we are doing at TAMCC. We have students right now at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Boston, from TAMCC, that the public may not know about.
Yeah.
And they got into these programs with credits from the T.A. Marshall Community College and are doing well. They are excelling at one of the world's leading tertiary institutions. I'm not too sure if we can speak the same way about a student from New Law. Not saying that they don't have the ability. Don't get me wrong here. I'm just saying that to compare both institutions is not I don't think it's a comparison that should be made, because New Law has its strengths, and like I say, mucho kudos to Sister Margaret and her team and what they are doing for our community and our country as a whole. But in terms of TAMCC, that's the message we need to get out there. Our students just recently won the OECS regional debate, and we also had our students won the regional moot as well. Those are TAMCC students in the field of environmental science and the legal fraternity as well, in the legal area. So that's the kind of achievement that we have at TAMCC, and we need to get the word out there to let the community know what we are doing, so persons could be interested and be inspired. We are doing great work at the college, and they should join us, and that is an option that they can use in terms of the education and training at the tertiary level. We also want persons to know the partnership that TAMCC has with universities and colleges around the world. That you have 2+2 arrangement where you finish your 2 years at TAMCC and you matriculate into universities and colleges around the world, including the United States. Students can leave TAMCC and go to Western Illinois University, gets credit transfer, Midwestern State University, our own University of the West Indies. We're talking about colleges within the region and internationally in Canada and so on. Our students travel around the world and they get opportunities. But guess what? We are going to package that information and share it with our community so persons understand the value that TAMCC brings to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And we continue to improve, we continue to listen to the community and to align ourselves with the community in terms of their needs. And that's one of the reasons why we partner with the Ministry of Agriculture, so at least we could have the pig breeding program on campus. That's the reason why we are partnering with them, so at least we could have the poultry facility, that the hatchery, so that our students and our new poultry facility could be in sync, where you have the training on one hand, you have production on the other hand, so that our students get that complete experience in terms of their training, so that they can implement it into their own farms, but in the community as a whole. We're going to develop specialists here in Grenada, and we all would be proud of it. I'm optimistic we're going to get there.
Yeah, and I want to support you 100% in that. I also want you to encourage the students, as well as doing great things practically and academically, and I'm just in awe of our students being at MIT, which is the leading technology institute, I would say, in the world. I mean, it's almost impossible to get into these institutions. But what I want to say to you, I've seen a lot of country, they teach love for the country. And I don't want us to continue using Grenada as a graveyard. So we go abroad for 40, 50 years. We holiday abroad, we might come back every so often. And when we're ready to dead, our box comes to Grenada. I want us to have a more balanced approach. I think great Grenadians need to say, I'm going to give Grenada at least 10, 15 years in terms of development. I know we can make lots of money abroad, but this is our country. Nobody's going to develop it from us. That's why I'm so proud of you from Dunfermline, what you're doing. That development that you're doing in Grenada, money can't pay for that. You might get a little wage or whatever, but money can't pay for what you're doing. And I want more of us to have that kind of approach in us. Yes, we got to make a living, we got to look after the family, and got to do all those things. Yes, we want to take a little 10 years abroad, but I want that nationalism in terms of developing our country to be part of that education.
The agriculture sector of National College of TAMCC. TAMCC is National College, not National. I'm an old man.
T. Marisho Community College is a new name for a national college.
All right, yes.
So
you
it was
see,
relabeled
you
back
see,
in
I
mid-90s.
kind of still stuck in time. the agriculture aspect of things. How does, and I think that's where comparison come in with Neuro, because TAMCC have always been seen as a higher academic institution.
It is.
But when practicality on the ground, that is where the ordinary man makes the comparison with Neuro. Not that in terms of academics, there is a comparison. But in terms of practicality on the ground, that's where the comparisons are made. Now, one of the issues that I always look with agriculture is concerned, when an individual decides to go to TAMCC and the agriculture aspects, what are the areas he likely to get involved in after 2 years? Some people may want to continue further in their studies and they move on to other institutions. But those individuals who actually want to take on a practical project here, what are the projects they could take on and be successful in?
Well, agriculture students from a general agriculture program have options. Remember, at the associate degree level, you are not really a specialist, but you now have the competence to be able to develop skills in whichever area you go. So if you choose to go into livestock farming, again, you would get that foundation from us. You would get some of the practical experience, but you would be able to, you have to continue honing your craft. If, for example, if you get to pig farming, of course, you now turn into that specialized area, and there are opportunities for you to grow. So hence the reason why we are now in discussions with UWI St. Augustine to look at how our students can matriculate into UE at a higher degree level, or to actually bring that program home at the bachelor's level. So at least we have it here in Grenada. So you could be in your farm and still come back for a continued professional development at TAMCC. That's the reason why we brought Dalhousie University here. So at least we could continue developing, looking at different concepts or national needs. So we could develop programs in that area. So a TAMCC graduate can then venture into that area as well, or along that path. Our students can go into teaching probably at the primary or the secondary level. You can seek employment with the government. You have persons in forestry, you have persons in different areas of agriculture here in Grenada, where you might be able to be, or you would be supervised, of course. But after a period in time, you could choose to move on to develop your skills, add certification qualifications to your own personal development. There are entrepreneurial activities, agribusiness. To go in and sell agricultural produce. You partner with farmers cooperatives. Look at different associations and you market products, or go out into our various markets and sell. Or get into crop production. And of course, you can get into research at a certain level. At the associate degree, I'm not sure you have the skills to do that kind of research, but you could begin from somewhere. We're looking at agriculture again. So the future of the Agriculture Center of Excellence is looking at aquaculture or coastal farming and fisheries, where we have persons who do the CMOS farming as well. That is an area as well we are looking at closely to implement with the NTA. So at least the sector that we know that is viable, it's lucrative at the moment, to expand that more, but to create opportunities for our students. It's not TAMCC's role per se to develop, but we could partner with the various entities, because we are the training arm of the country, and to be able to build the capacity that is needed within Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique to take the opportunities that are available to them. So coastal farming is getting bigger, and we want to institutionalize that at TAMCC. So those are some of the areas we are looking at innovating and implementing at the same time at the institution, so at least our citizens could be better prepared to take the opportunities that are available.
That's wonderful. And on the program, we had a big discussion between me, Mr. Pierre, and I don't know who else was on there, because we tried to kind of have a little bit of fun on the program as well as be very serious about agriculture. And the blue economy, we spent a program talking about it and letting people know it's what it is in terms of the farming that they're already doing. Because sometimes you hear the blue economy and you think, where is it? Where could I find it? You know, and people kind of don't realize they're already in the blue economy and transport and all those things. But one of the things you ran through very quickly, and I want you to go back to it. You mentioned Dalhousie University. You're just so quick. So people might not know what that is. Just tell us what is that is, where it is, what it does, and what opportunities it gives our people in Grenada. And what you're planning to do with them if you're planning anything.
At this time, we have a concept paper basically focused on food processing. Given the fruits, the wide variety of fruits we have here in Grenada, and to really do some value added in terms of
much
fruits.
needed.
All right.
Mangoes and all those things, we have to do something with it.
Right.
And we got to do secondary processing with Soursop.
So Dalhousie University have over 120 years worth of experience in that area.
Okay.
And they have the facilities, the expertise to really help TAMCC to develop our agricultural programming, especially in research and, as I say, food processing. And we see them as a partner that would also create pathways for our students to attain higher level certification as well. So it's one, to get access to the experts, to assist us in developing some of our programming areas, to collaborate on projects that could be short to medium term, that could impact the sector. TAMCC sees itself going forward as a research-based institution here in Grenada, especially in the field of agriculture. We need to really be informed about our decisions, not only for agriculture, but in other areas. But we're talking agriculture today. When we look at the variety of crops, when we look at farming in a tropical island and some of the tropical plants that are in existence here, to learn more about these plants, for our animal husbandry, to actually learn about natural feeds and how we can even develop our own feed on the island. So research is a critical part of training, and TAMCC it's an area that we are laser focused on in terms of our future development, where every program that we have at the institution, we would have some research component as part of it. So at least we could build our capacity here on island, and for our institution to be, in the future, reputed, the reputation for TAMCC to be one of that is grounded in research, and I would say information driven in terms of our decision making. So Dalhousie and that partnership that we are looking to develop, it is multiple folds, not just one area where we have a concept on agro processing and that's it. There are several opportunities for partnership with that institution. I had the opportunity to visit that campus. Actually, I worked with them for about 3 years in terms of projects. And they have on their campus the resources in the province of Nova Scotia to really support that sector over there as well. And we believe we can benefit a lot. There are mutual benefits for both Dalhousie and TMRSU Community College. And I did mention earlier UWI, and they're not stopping there. We are also looking at other institutions as well, because for a tertiary institution, it's important for us to partner with other institutions, so at least we can, we could expand our knowledge in various areas to collaborate for faculty and staff development, and also for program and students' mobility.
Yes, and those listening to us must remember that the number to call is 410-3030. And you can also make your posts and we will read them out. And we have our Saint Andrew and Abraham and Joshua. And these are significant and important names in Christendom. And now we have them in the field of agriculture. And both of them from the same community practically. Dunfermline, Moya, Paraclet. And then we have them in farm school in agriculture.
It's amazing. Mr. Abraham, just listening to you, I'm a little bit protected of you now that I know you're a homeboy. And why I say that is that I think there need to be about 4 of you to do all the things you're trying to do. I don't know how you're going to get through all of that. It's an enormous task that you've just kind of laid out that you're trying to do. And
I always say only busy people have time. So you give one man plenty work to do.
It's a lot.
But
and
so
you need support.
You have, I know institutions always want to associate with more experience, and some people believe that we have greatly underutilized the opportunities from the Chinese. I remember earlier you talk about collaboration with the Chinese. Yes. So one of the challenges that we have is that we greatly underutilize the Chinese. The Chinese invented diplomacy. They come in your country, they adopt. They don't really associate with you. They adopt. They don't volunteer much, and you have to dig it out from them. And I say that because throughout the Caribbean, I'm grossly dissatisfied with the amount of technology transfer that is going on from the Chinese to us. And perhaps it's because of a culture clash. We perhaps waiting for the Chinese to volunteer. They don't really do. So we have to have the attitude to go after the Chinese
for the technology transfer
they can provide for us.
Yeah.
I say that for what it is.
No, you make a very, very good point. If you look at development around the world, one of the tools that develop your country is technology transfer. You know, that is so important. If we're going to move towards some form of industrialization, because we're not no big country, but we can do small, micro, secondary process and different things. But technology transfer is something that has not been shared as readily as it should be with the developing world, and it's needed. And I think your point is an excellent point, and it needs to be followed up. What is it that we need in Grenada to give us that kind of fuel, jet fuel in our veins to really move forward? We can't go with the cutlass anymore. We can't go with the fork anymore. You know, we have to have that technology transfer. There's no other way. I mean, one of the things that is very important to me is how do we integrate solar with farming? We have these poultry pens. They're massive. All of them could be solarized and be earning an income, and they might be making more money from the solar than rearing the chickens at the end of the day. And we have to integrate these things when we're doing this program. That's why I'm so pleased with Mr. Avery. All the partnerships that he's talking about, all the collaboration it's talking about, that is the way that we have to go at the moment in terms of developing our country, developing agriculture, and developing it quickly, because there's opportunity in front of us, but sometimes our thinking is stuck in the past.
Time flies when you have these discussions or move fast, and we have about 6-7 minutes again. So Mr. Ibrahim, we're back to you again. Okay, we asked some questions, but the universities, sometimes I chastise the university. While I praise them on one hand, I'm not satisfied with the amount we get from them. And the institutions, they seek academia, they seek higher learning, but somewhere along the line, not many of your university graduates are in your country actually involved in developmental projects, and particularly agriculture is concerned. So yes, we have and we will have the necessary individuals qualifying to further their education, and alignment in other universities is good. But at all stage, what happens if an individual do going to do a 2-year course in the farm school. But when he finished that 2-year course, his emphasis now is making money. So he wants to make money in pigs. So could I go to the farm school and after 2 years open a pig farm and make money from it? And would I able to know how much pigs I should rear? You know, how much pigs I should keep?
The
If I
business
just want
aspect.
a fat section, how much pigs I should keep that I would able to make money? When I likely to break even? Because all I want to do is a 2-year course. I'm a man who want to make money and afraid to fly, afraid to travel. You may have just 1% people like that. Does the farm school prepare to cater for these individuals?
And the answer to your question is yes. And how are we doing that? As I mentioned earlier, we have actually applied to the National Training Agency to become an approved center for the CVQ and NVQ programs. And what these programs are doing for us is to give us the ability to assess persons in the community and provide customized training for them. So at least they don't go through what we'd say as the traditional way of training, where you go to college for 2 years and then at the end of it you get a certification. Based on your assessment, it may take you, maybe you're at level 2 and you didn't know, but the assessment would bring that out. So you'll probably get up to a level 3. But there are components in there that deal with entrepreneurship. How do you do your finances and so on and so forth. So as part of the training, on completion, you should know how to do your books, so to speak. What the investment you are going to put into the business and how much it would take for you to break even and possibly what it would take to make a profit. So the competence at the end of the training should give you the skills to do that. Well, the training should help you develop that competence. So that's once you leave the program, that you are able to do that. And I'm confident that we are heading in that direction. And that's the reason why I took the opportunity to come on this program, because I want us to share with the community as much as possible what we are doing at TAMCC to support the community. And that's exactly one of the outcomes we are hoping to achieve at TAMCC. Every student at TAMCC may not be interested in going to the bachelor's degree level or going abroad to study, but we would have the programs here to help them to develop that capacity, to be able to go out there and be self-sufficient, to become entrepreneurial, to go out there and understand what it takes to run a business successfully, and to also take care of themselves and their family, and to be good at that. Again, to even expand a business and grow a business, not just to the size of Grenada, but outside our borders as well, because we believe that there are regional opportunities. We also want to position the institution to develop capacity to the point where we have so much that we could export as well. So we take the opportunities that are outside. You talk about the Chinese, which we are grateful for their partnership. I want to put that on record. But at the same time, they are here in Grenada because they develop the capacity in China that they are able to come to Grenada and provide diplomatic services or otherwise export services. We want to position Grenada. We may not be at the scale in which the Chinese are doing it, but we believe that we can do that. The Jamaicans are doing it. They are here in the region. They provide the region with skilled practitioners in various areas, as teachers, as practitioners, be it automotive, be it construction. You're building a hotel. You go to Jamaica and hundreds of Jamaicans are on your hotel and construction site. That's an opportunity that presents itself outside the border of Jamaica. Again, we're talking about road construction. We have Trinidad companies that have come to Grenada in the past and build our major roadways. Again, that's an opportunity outside the borders of Trinidad and Tobago. We are saying that as an academic, as a training institution, we want to be able to do that, where we help the Grenadians to develop the capacity so they can take the opportunities that are available throughout the region. But we know there are lots of opportunities locally, right? I would say it be in our backyard or at our doorstep. We want them to be able to do that and be able to make a living, as we say, locally for them and for themselves and their family as well, or their families. So yes, I mean,
you still have to give the last 2 minutes to punch and brag about the opportunities that are available to reach who you want to reach in Grenada, the clients, the students, and the stakeholders.
Right.
And sometimes I believe we have to flaunt agriculture. I mean, if you believe the farms could have opportunities, all people must start to flaunt those opportunities.
Yes, and I totally agree with you. And what I can say to our listening community this morning is that the TMRSO Community College Agriculture Center of Excellence, which is soon to be, is positioning itself to provide training to our community in all of the areas. As it is at the moment, we are providing training with general agriculture. We are partnering with institutions and various ministries within the government to provide training as well. And I'm asking you to take the opportunities that are available currently and to also reach out to us. Contact our administration or admission, department. You can go online as well at www.tamcc.edu.gd and you can access information about the various programs that we offer at TAMCC. The application period is open, and I'm asking you to complete the application, and we will be reaching out to you and to be able to partner with you and to, assist you in achieving some of your academic and career goals by accessing training at the TMRSO Community College. We're talking agriculture this morning, and the Maribor Farm School, as I would say, soon to be that Agriculture Center of Excellence, is one where we'll be able to provide training in animal husbandry, general agriculture, food processing, non-traditional agriculture. We're talking about fisheries, and so on. So it's something that I want you to keep your ears open, and we'll be coming to you wherever you are. We are already in your social media space. We are already on the airwaves that I'm here this morning. And so I just keep a listening out and give us a call. Don't be shy about developing yourself. Personal development should be a top priority, if not the top priority. And TAMCC is there to help you. We have partners. We have partnered with colleges and universities throughout the world, may I say. And if you are looking to go further afield, you could start your education and training journey at TAMCC and use that as a stepping stone or as a ladder to get to where you need to be. And feel free to reach out to us. We are always open. The college is never closed unless it's a holiday. But we are always open. We don't have a summer period where we close. The admissions office, we always have persons on staff to assist you. So pleasant good morning to you again, and to our TAMCC family as well. Continue to enjoy your weekend, and see you on the other side of the new week that is soon to come. So
Yes, brothers and sisters, and remember Andrew, Abraham, and Joshua. Abraham is involved in the forefront of the farm school, and he's really bragging about the opportunities and the changes and the improvements that the farm school could make. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Like Freddy and Studio Galaxy 473 in Canfero. We freedom of speech is sacrosanct. Make use of it. Let no one challenge. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and